Hello. This is Payday 3's new Boys in Blue update.
No risk of running into the Payday gang while I'm chained to a desk.
Huh. Yeah. That's good.
All right, let's roll. Hey!
Get ready to let brother go home.
Where you can shoot cops like a true libertarian. Steal gold.
Whooped on his ass. Somehow his chain fell in my hand. I don't know how I got in my hand, but it fell in my hand.
And heist donuts like a true criminal.
Don't take another step, pal!
You're under arrest.
But before we get into the meat and potatoes of this update,
make sure to smash that like and subscribe button like your enemies and share this grandma with your grandma, brother. So my girlfriend will let me out of her basement, you fucking liberal.
so with that aside, I'm a little late to the party. Payday 3 has been on life support for the past 9 months. So let's jump into the improvements they've made since DLC 1, syntax error, leading up to update 8. If you're already in the know and want a straight review of the new DLC, you can jump to this time in the video or use any of the timestamps on the video or description. We've received a number of improvements in the past 6 months, but 6 months is a long time, and the real substantial improvements we've gotten has been quite light. Starting with the brand new progression rework, this has been a game changer, not only allowing us to level up faster, but also easier, giving a more rewarding feeling to leveling up, especially with the unique level up paints and colors we get for doing so. But this leaves a question: where are the challenges going to go? As there are some who grinded through them, myself included. We know Starbreeze has plans to reintegrate them back into the game with real intangible rewards, hopefully being things like masks, patterns, charms, and possibly C-stacks, but there's a concern that old challenges, once completed, might return and will require one to complete them for a second time. Only time will tell if that's to be the case or not. We've received more skill points, going from 21 to 28, making way for more build variety. A great change. We had the addition of the Adaptive Armor, a fantastic addition that helps Payday 3 get a little closer to having the classic armor recovery system that Payday 2 had. But as the game wasn't built for a system like it, it helped annihilate the game's balance in the player's favor, as well as the Fortitude skill line, introducing the Adrenaline mechanic, allowing one to overheal and then some, bringing much needed utility to the medic bag. We also recently received the Assassin skill line, another welcome addition giving suppressed weapons more importance. I can't help, however, to find the current skill system lacking and yet being completely bloated.
What is that? What the fuck?
With new additions to it furthering the latter issue, there are only a handful of builds that are actually effective, but effective does not necessarily constitute being fun. Many builds I see are exactly the same with little experimentation, and there are zero weapon-specific skills like Payday 2's Graze and Body Expertise, other than Precision Shot. To combat the balance problems Fortitude and Adaptive Armor created, Starbreeze introduced new combat modifiers. I don't like them. Majority of them seem to gimp the player rather than empowering the enemies, and still miss the intended mark of rebalancing the gameplay. The shot grenade is cool, it's neat, but it's essentially a flashbang that can kill shields and zappers. I like it. They also added the techie to all heists with her new changes, drones doing less damage, and a new drone that disables grit, rush, and edging. She feels quite balanced now, but the whole hide-and-seek gameplay they mention slows the gameplay down and leads to frustration more than anything. We can now skip the heist intro, although there's always one guy who doesn't.
Oh my god, bro.
An added quick play feature, which is fantastic, as my ADHD brain gets absolute analysis paralysis. A form party function literally 0 people use. Apparent matchmaking improvements that I have not noticed.
Fuck this shit!
A new Mask of the Week system encouraging good old FOMO in an ever-inflating C-stack economy. The masks look cool though. New animations, and frankly the animation team has been carrying this game, so hats off to them. We also got more voice lines from the heisters, something I felt was very lacking, as I missed opening a vault and hearing them comment on all the money, or while in combat, Hoxton insulting the police while Dallas gives the team words of encouragement, or simply reacting to a situation gone wrong.
Hoxton! Hoxton! Hoxton!
Girls were
really hope to see more of this in the future. And finally, the feature everyone's been waiting for.
Let's make some money.
We are so fucking back. In the lead up to Update 8, Blue and Boys, we had the Dragon Files, an interactive ARG-like tease for the upcoming update, as well as adding extra world building to the game's universe. I love these types of things, and I would love it even greater to see more of this, as well as those crazy live-action trailers they used to make going forward. We also had cameos from the king of heisting himself, Red Archer Live, and this little bitch called Lil Guy F, who I keep emailing for a collab, but I keep getting ignored, so I made a fucking diss track on him, and the pussy boy ain't popping out, cause he knows I got him beat, he knows I'm the king of New York, and I hope that little bitch slams his dick in a car door! Excuse me. I was really trying to keep this PG. Anyway, let's start off with the free content added in this update.
Christmas greetings from old Hoxton, fa la 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 la.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Solo Mode. Kinda. This isn't the offline mode everyone's been requesting, but it's a big step in that direction. Basically, you still need to connect to the servers to start the heist and boon the rewards for the heist. However, during gameplay itself, it is running off of your hardware, which means no server lag and matchmaking queue, with further polishing and plans on adding a full offline mode in the future. Solo mode is still in its beta stages, so don't be surprised to run into bugs and frame rate issues when you boot it up. However, right now, as an incentive to play it, you'll be getting double money on any heist you play within the solo mode. Other than the bugs, the only problem I have are the menus. I hate that I have to go through 3 menus just to start a heist, when they could all easily fit on an already barren main menu. Another massive addition is the reintroduction of Clover as a playable heister, with her voice actor Aoife Duffin reprising the role. While her addition is purely cosmetic with no gameplay ramifications, these heisters and their dynamics and personalities are what ultimately bring so much character to this franchise. But back to Clover, she seems to be calmer than her former self, but just as derogatory, seemingly carrying the lessons she's learned from her past heisting days, and a thirst for revenge for the people who tried to have the gang killed, with a darker outfit to match. Her mask is made to be soul-piercing and uncanny rather than a portrayal of vanity, self-obsession, and simply wearing a mask as your normal face, though it obviously still obtains those old elements. She also boasts a new signature weapon, the Queen's Revenge, based off the KS-1. This is a preset for the Car 4 and has nothing special going for it other than a unique paint job that doesn't look too exciting. However, what is exciting is Payday 3's first LMG class weapon, the Spruta MX63, based off the Knights Armament Company LAMG. It's a surprisingly good weapon given its low damage and poor handling, as its fire rate, massive magazine size, and fantastic ammo pickup rate make it a monster to just spray and pray with. The sound of the weapon is what you'd expect, a lightweight MG that's a lead spitter rather than a hard hitter. And its animations are alright, there's nothing special with its reload, but its inspect animation is kinda uninteresting and drags on a bit.
Hello guys. Today we have a list of top 5 scariest jumpscares. Número 1.
We also have 3 new masks, being Vicious Warrior, Old Bob, and Hooded Haunt, a new weapon charm celebrating Clover, costing 10 C-stacks, and a few weapon stickers representing 12 different countries. We can now buy Brazil. You can now rename loadouts. I just wish we had more than 7. Steam trading cards have also been added if you care for that, as well as a few new cosmetics via Twitch drops, While I don't like sitting on streams when I have better things to do, it is genuinely a good way to help out the creators on Twitch. And finally, Starbreeze added NVIDIA DLSS 3.0 support that uses AI technology to help create a faster and smoother frame rate if you play with the NVIDIA graphics card. Now, the real game begins. Content! Boys in Blue is the 12th heist and the 4th heist added post-launch, taking place in a grimy police station in the Bronx with the portrayal of the borough matching that. The brown colors of the map are very overpowering, with very little color popping out at all, even on the inside of the building where it's just boring desks and paperwork in a regular old police station. It's no FBI headquarters, no big bank, no grand scale at all. And the skybox, what is that? Seriously? The Bronx can be a pretty dirty place, but it also has a lot of color and life, and I think the only thing dirty is how they did it to them. Although there are some gems in here, like the dialogue throughout the map, even a reference to the Payday 2 secret.
You're delusional. Seriously delusional.
I'm telling you, it's all real. 3 of them. 3 kings, and they control everything, and they got spies watching over all of us.
And they're alien kings?
Yes. Well, interdimensional beings. They come and go through a portal under the Washington Monument.
Jesus. And you said one of the kings pretends to be a what?
He's an orthodontist. It's the perfect disguise.
You don't actually believe any of this, do you?
Sounds totally plausible to me.
And there's also a cute little Easter egg with the donuts. You can find random donuts on the map and eat them in an overly dramatic animation. And in Loud, if you eat a donut from the box, you'll gain or refresh Rush, Edge, and Grit.
Oh boy.
I was just thinking about donuts. Did I manifest these?
Hey, stop! Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit. This is sickening.
The level design isn't bad, with 2 paths on each side heading to the car park, and a third once you blow up the wall inside the vault cutting through the center. The car park, however, is a total no man's land, having plenty of cars to hide behind, but no matter where you are, cops will have sightlines on you, with the inside of the building having plenty of cover with plenty of flanks for you or the cops to use, and 3 stairways to the 2nd floor, a much better layout than Syntax Error. The utilization of these areas, though, are confusing. As in Loud, you'll exclusively be in the car park, and in Stealth, you'll play majority of the heist in the building. It's unique as both playstyles feel like entirely different maps almost, but I hope it doesn't become a trend as it'll get old fast in consecutive heists. The heists thus far have had quite the problem with randomization and replayability. Boys in Blue is a step in the right direction, having more than majority of the maps, including a few small room locations, QR codes and keycards, a few objectives, and the escape locations. But generally, other than the van's key location in Loud, these are all very minor and leaves me wanting more with no big set pieces and no real innovation. It's a return to roots, yeah. More or so feeling like a small Payday 2 heist, but even the objectives are recycled from Payday 2. Like pulling out the vault door with a truck like Hotline Miami or even Brooklyn Bank, or searching each desk for the correct employee like the San Martin Bank. Also, the zipline asset doesn't work 0 out of 10. Like I mentioned, the Loud gameplay in this heist almost exclusively takes place in the car park, proving to be among the most challenging heists thus far, providing little cover and plenty of choke points. A quick rundown, you run in.
I had my pieces.
Your pieces?
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Wow.
Bang! And head straight for the car park, looking for a van with explosives. You place them on a wall right outside the vault. Then hook a tow truck to pull off the door. Once inside, you drill through the door holding the gold, or skip it if you found the red key card, then haul the gold out to the repair shop housing a squad car you'll use for your escape. You'll have to drill into the building, or once again use the key card on one of the doors, then waiting for the car lift to lower, securing the gold, finding the keys, which can be either right next to the car or inside one of 3 safes in the station, and finally escaping. Like I said, the gameplay is tense and challenging. Though I think special enemies spawn a little too often, even without the modifier doubling their spawns, but I digress. We have the return of gold loot, which acts the same as Payday 2's counterpart, disabling sprint and slowing down movement, the same properties as the drone server in Syntax Error. But gold is back, baby! We also have an optional objective, having to hack the captain's computer, then plugging in a USB and hacking a wall panel to bypass security, taking the USB when we're done. I personally love having optional objectives in these heists. The problem is, they don't reward you. Just like No Rest for the Wicked, there is no reward, neither short-term or long-term. Even though Shade states that Vlad will pay extra for it, it's a shame that there's zero incentive to engage with this. Though, I have an inside source that has reported that this is something Starbreeze is looking into changing. I won't state my source, but
Still hang on. Hello. Woo! Yeah. So this is how we're going to be playing today. I don't know if you can actually hear me. The mic's a bit like Boys in Blue.
stealth takes place almost entirely in the station building.
I'm so fucking glad I got demoted.
Really? Why? Now you're stuck on office duty.
Depends on how you look at it. At least there's no chance of running into the Payday gang.
That's a pretty good point.
Hey, slow down, pal.
The first objective is to get upstairs into the captain's office, either offing him or using the donuts to lure him out and distracting the other guards for the remainder of the heist. Hacking his computer.
The biometric signature of the evidence room lock rotates on a daily basis. We need to find out which cop has access.
What? You think I was gonna do a funny bit or something?
Element of surprise!
Then halfway through, hack a different computer, then return to complete the first hack, find the correct fingerprint to get into the vault, grab the red key card in the locker room with a QR code locked door, then bag the gold in the vault, but use the window to transfer it, as you can't walk out the vault or a pressure sensor will lock you in. After that, sneak it to the van parked in the street and escape. I think the stealth is good. It's easy though, but can be very time consuming for the average player. And it really doesn't help that the escape van locations are so far away.
You shouldn't be in here. I will need you to come.
Also, not sure if it's intentional, but there's no set seed for Boys in Blue. Every time you restart the heist randomized elements will change. I personally like the set seed function. Game literally unplayable. If you'd like to experience the story of this heist yourself, you can skip to this time, as this entire section will be spoiling it if you care. Okay, 3, 2, 1. The Payday gang, after finding out the identity of the ex-Murky Water CEO, John Concord, and hitting the guy where it hurts, are looking for more intel on him. The one to answer the call is, holy shit, who is that? Yeah, that's Vlad. A couple of updates ago, they decided to change his face for what I presume are legal reasons, even though his original voice actor, Ila Volak, still voices him. It's very confusing, but let's continue. Vlad answers the call, says he has intel on Concord, but he won't say anything without a favor first. That favor is boosting some gold from a security vault inside a police station in the Bronx.
The government is hiding billions of pounds of cheese in hidden caves underneath the United States that it is selling off by manipulating our advertising and education systems to our detriment in order to turn a profit.
The police seize the gold from Vlad's surprisingly legitimate cash for cheese business and will soon see the pockets of Captain Blythe, who Vlad also knows is working with Concord but doesn't know why. Vlad then gets a call, and that call is from Clover herself, who is still alive and kicking and invited to help heist the gold, just like old times. While I think Vlad is shoehorned into the plot here, I feel a character like Beckett, who we hardly know anything about and is very underutilized, would have been perfect here. Establish that guy has plenty of criminal connections in the underworld and is worth working with, seriously. I think Vlad, as much as I love him, should be retired by now. Clover, on the other hand, I think her introduction was done well, as cliche as it was. Moving on, after the heist, we don't talk to Vlad really. Like, he really didn't have any intel beyond the fact Blythe had connections to Concord. It makes the crew look desperate, which isn't exactly the position they're in after taking so many dubs recently, but we find out Concord wants Blythe to frame a specific prisoner held in Rikers Island. Why you need to frame someone already in prison, that's beyond me, but the bombshell drops, and this prisoner is revealed to be Franklin Steele, Dallas's brother and former heist crew, Houston. This reveal is done wonderfully, and hearing such rage from Dallas, a man who is always calm under pressure.
I need a medic bag!
We see him crack, as now the man who tried to kill all of them not only has his own brother in prison, but is trying to further damages. It seems the next heist, Land of the Free, won't be a Hoxton breakout, but a Houston breakout. My lord, we've come full circle. I think the music is alright.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, I think music is a large part of the Payday experience, and the lead composer, Gustavo Colino, is brilliant and has done some great work. But for Payday 3 in specific, most songs have been misses for me. The No Rest for the Wicked and Cook-Off soundtracks are fantastic, but everything in between falls on deaf ears. Believe me, the first time I heard the Boys in Blue track, I was head rocking. But the more and more I listened to it, the more its flaws stood out. With the loud version, it switches this funky drum line for your standard rock drums, which are completely muted and don't bring any energy to the table at all. I've noticed Gustavo's biggest issue with Payday 3's music always seems to be a problem with the drums. They never really get your heart pumping and your legs jumping like they should. Aside from the drums, I feel like having the guitar take center stage over those crazy synths was a mistake. But the rock sound, it still fits the map. For the stealth version of the track, however, it is brilliant. It's the best stealth track we have gotten in Payday 3. Just all these funky sounds coming together like you was a smooth criminal. It's beautiful, and it's exactly what I wanted Golden Shark's stealth track to sound like. Now, I've already covered the MX-63 and the Queen's Revenge. Those guns are free with this update. However, the Boys in Blue weapon pack injects 3 more weapons, being the ATK-7, otherwise known as the Heckler & Koch MP5, the Adling RG5, known as the Heckler & Koch Gewehr 3, and the Bullkick 500, also known as the Smith & Wesson 500. I don't know why Starbreeze have changed their names from the Payday 2 versions, being the Compact 5, Gewehr 3, and Bronco respectively, but to each their own. Let's start off with the Adling RG5. The gun itself performs almost identical to the KU-59, boasting higher damage, better recoil, and matching the fire rate. The extra damage it has is almost unnoticeable, with it sacrificing a third of its magazine size, bringing it down to 20+1. Is what I would say, but with Edge, that extra damage allows the Adling to reach the esteemed one-shot headshot range, overall performing more similar to the VF7S, cutting down on its drawbacks with better recoil, better fire rate, better handling, and a generous ammo pickup rate that I'd say certifies the RG5 as the king of the assault rifle class. Its animations are great as well, but the sounds, they're fine, I guess. They really should sound sharper, as it's like hearing a gun on the other side of a wall. Great weapon though. My dog just barked. The new SMG, the ATK-7, is really like any other SMG. High fire rate, high ammo pickup rate, low damage, and runs through its magazine fast. Nothing special other than being the iconic MP5. I have problems with the entirety of the SMG class as it is, but that's for another video. Its animations are fantastic, sporting that iconic HK slap with the Adling RG, and it sounds good. It's exactly like an MP5 should. Unfortunately, unless you absolutely stan the MP5, this gun is not worth picking up, as any other SMG can do its job. The Bullkick 500, on the other hand, is exactly the gun I wanted, and precisely what the pistol class needed, providing to basically be a mini sniper rifle that will one-shot any enemy besides the dozer without any skills or buffs needed. It balances this out, sporting a high recoil with a low rate of fire and a limited cylinder capacity, holding 5 rounds instead of the standard 6. The gun animations are outstanding, especially the flashy reload. Its gun sounds, however, fall short, a problem with every revolver. They don't sound like they pack a punch as they should, which is very disappointing. The weapon pack also comes with the Boolean bar charm for even extra, and the cop nut sticker.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
The Tailor Pack is difficult to criticize, as the quality of its content is very much based on one's own opinion on style. I think Supermax is pretty ugly, not gonna lie. RiotCon is a little better, I'ma call it fugly. I really like that jumpsuit vibe of Flight Risk, while Jailbird is nothing special here. I never care much about the gloves, but these are the Suave Grippers, the Star Cut, the Digi Swipe, and the Elmers. I always stick to the same pairs with every outfit anyway, so once again, don't care much about these.
Yeah, boy.
The masks in this pack look good, being the Mad Mask Raider, Killer Canine, Clown Punk, which is my favorite, and the Clowninator.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
I'll be back.
Kept you waiting, huh?
All these masks are customizable this time around, so that's cool. Fuck syntax error. After the Boys in Blue update, over 9 months after launch, I still don't think the game is quite there yet. Still missing quality of life features and having a lack of content. But most importantly, having a flawed gameplay loop with a poor skill system, annoying buffs with edge, grit, and rush, and a weak armor and health system that was easy to break in a single update. Boys in Blue was a step in the right direction, but we're still not there yet. However, with that being said, the future is looking bright, the near future even, as the almighty Almir has stated that we can expect the next 2 DLCs of Year 1, Land of the Free and Fear and Greed, before September. That's within the next 2 months, a far cry from the 6 months between the latest DLC and Syntax. Though that also means they may make the same mistakes as Boys in Blue. We'll see. There were also mentions that we will see the next Free Heist, likely a remake, but it could also be a crossover with the likes of DayZ or Rainbow Six Siege, as Starbreeze has partnered with both games lately. Take that with a grain of salt. We could see this sometime during summer, although my hope for this is quite low. Other improvements on their way are a much needed UI rework, the introduction of daily challenges that were supposed to release with Boys in Blue, a vote to kick feature, improvements to the communication wheel, although they should really focus on voice chat functionality, and of course the full implementation of an offline mode. And I gotta mention, that new song Gustavo leaked sounded pretty fire, not gonna lie.
Boys in Blue, Poison Brew, Hatsune Miku.
Before I get into the final verdict, there were a few more mostly unnoticeable changes with this update, including increasing the ammo pickup rate for the Syntax era DLC weapons, reversing the ridiculous nerf to them in the last update, the strange removal of the subway escape location when stealthing under the surface. I understand that nobody used this, but it was a cool little touch of detail, not to mention that they left in Shade's voice line referencing it. And the XP gains change for a couple of heists. You will now receive less XP for No Rest for the Wicked on all difficulties, and more XP for Cook-Off.
Just we need to cook. Okay. Why are you wearing a chip?
Now there are some big talking points that need to be mentioned, like how the player count shot up above 10 players. But unfortunately, the quoted time for server maintenance for this update was 8 hours, a full workday, but ended up being down for more than that. 14 hours the servers were down. That is atrociously long and shows that there needs to be some serious work done with the update delivery. I can't help but to feel bad for the devs working that long. And then there was the issue with Xbox Silver Edition owners not receiving the DLC. This was fixed a mere hours after it was discovered, but the problem still happened to begin with. And the free weekend for Syntax Error, I think this was a brilliant idea, giving new players and returning players a chance to play a heist they don't own is not only a great token to the community, but a good way to boost sales for the DLC. Now, I didn't think having a free weekend for the previous DLC around the same time Boys in Blue dropped was a good idea, but I didn't have to worry because the free weekend was postponed due to further technical issues. But now we can get into the financial side of things. After 9 months, Starbreeze finally implemented a Gold Pass upgrade, allowing a player who owns the base version of the game to directly upgrade to the Gold version without paying full price for the entire Gold Edition. Basically like getting Call of Duty's old season passes. In addition to this, owners of the Gold Edition and Syntax Error will receive extra cosmetic items as compensation for the overpricing of the Syntax Error DLC. This is probably the best move they could have made in regard to this issue, but that brings up a question. All of the cosmetics we're getting were stated to be a part of the microtransaction store that was supposed to launch earlier this year. Now, microtransactions are something that nobody wants in this game, especially with its current state. If released, I can tell you that the backlash would be even worse than the
Creamyfest 2015
event. But of course, if player feedback cannot change the inevitability of such a feature, we need to know, will we be able to earn these so-called Payday coins for free, or will they only be attainable with our credit cards? All around bad idea. On a good note, as I mentioned, the Boys in Blue DLC bundle was lowered in price due to the community backlash towards Syntax Error. Syntax will stay the same price, with owners getting compensated with what I mentioned earlier, and the new DLC price model will likely stay the same as Boys in Blue going forward, with the Boys in Blue bundle being $11.99 USD, $6 less than Syntax. I see this as an absolute win. Meanwhile, the prices for each individual DLC within the bundle have been lowered by $2 each. So, my final thoughts. I've been with this franchise for 10 years, and it's sad to see the state of the game. But I have hope. Like we've seen with games like No Man's Sky, Fallout 76, and Cyberpunk 2077. Payday 3 can still make a comeback, but unfortunately, it's not quite there yet. So my final rating on the DLC is
a full, highest rating that I can issue, 10 out of 10, and it easily earns the badass seal of approval.
Yeah, I agree with Noli, 6 out of 10. It's kinda mid, lacking any real improvement or innovation. So would I suggest buying this heist? Yes, as long as you already own the game. Now, I don't think the weapon bundle or Tailor Pack is worth it, but picking up the heist for about $8 is alright. And if you're not strapped for cash, or you really just like the weapons and cosmetics, then the $12 bundle isn't crazy bad neither. However, the game itself, I still don't recommend buying it for the $40 standard price. It really still needs more time to cook in the oven. If you can pick it up on sale, that's great. And for the Silver Edition owners, I'm sorry to say, the Silver Edition has not proven to be worth it. Don't buy it, especially now that its lifespan has concluded. The Gold Edition, however, I cannot recommend you buy this either, as of right now. It's the best bang for your buck, so it could be worth it picking it up on sale, but I think it's wiser to hold off on that as we have yet to conclude year 1 of the game. so we can't comment on the content that's yet to come. If you suffered this far, thanks for watching and all that shit. If you could leave a like and subscribe, that would mean the world to me, as I put a lot of time into this analysis, and like I said, I've been with Payday for 10 years, so I'm very passionate about it. I don't upload much, but when I do, you should expect more Payday content, maybe Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, but who knows, I don't. Shameless plug! Shameless plug. Go ahead and listen to my newest single, Beach, streaming on all platforms. It's summertime, so it's the perfect time to run that up. Additionally, I got a new 6-song EP dropping on July 17th, so go ahead and give that a listen when it comes out. Anyway, I hope you have a more than mediocre day, and I love you, bye.
A huge thank you to my dedicated Patreon backers. If you want to join this crew in going infamous, check out the link below and pledge as little as $2 to see your name in the credits, or get 24-hour early access to videos and vote on upcoming content. Take care, I'll see you soon.
Retiring, living a paradise, most something by state is a criminal's ambition.